Bostrom Ministries. Beginning January 2018, Bostrom Ministries engaged in a whole new assignment by entering the airwaves of the world. Don't miss Ken and Mary Bostrom Ministries Live.
For tuning in to Ken Bostrom Ministries United in His Purpose broadcast. We just count it an honor when you do take your time and tune in to us. Also, if you missed any of the shows, if you want to go back to any of the back shows, you can go to Ken Bostrom Ministries on YouTube, and you'll be able to pull up all of those. Plus, all my high fives are on our YouTube channel too. So thank you for being with us today, and I want to give a shout out and a thank you for our production partners and make it possible for us to be with you today and over the airwaves. And I just want to introduce our guest today. We have with us Bill Katz. Bill Katz, he's a United States representative for Hope for Israel. And Hope for Israel, Hope, and then the number 4, Israel.org, if you want to hear more about it. And we thank you for being with us today, Bill.
It's a pleasure being here and being among friends
Absolutely.
who wouldn't want to be here.
You know, there's a lot of people that would like to go to Israel that have never been to Israel.
Oh, well, then we are the right people for that. We do 2 things when it comes to Israel.
Okay.
First of all, we have our own tours twice a year. We have the Experience Israel tour, which is an extended tour that really shows you, for those of us who are of a certain age and remember vinyl records,
yeah.
The side B, remember? So if you want to see the side B of Israel, or the one that is, off the beaten path,
but
with a real significance. This
Yeah.
is an opportunity, as I said, this is an extended tour all throughout Israel that takes place between February and March.
Okay.
And then we have, of course, our usual tour that covers Israel and Greece in September or October. And again, you can find information about those tours there on our website.
Now, how long are those tours?
Well, they're both 12 days.
12 days?
Yeah, 12 days. Usually the usual trip in Israel is 7 nights. These are extended tours, particularly the Experience Israel, which actually starts to, the 27th of this month. I think we have a couple of open spots. So if there's someone here who's been dreaming about looking at Israel in depth, this is a great tour. And on top of that, is the 20th anniversary of our ministry.
Really?
Yes, this year, 2020, is the 20th anniversary of our ministry. So
Moran just doesn't look that old.
Oh, no. And on top of that, Moran is a great guy, ex-paratrooper,
Yes.
with all this energy, along with our great guide, Isaac.
Yeah.
And so we're having a real special tour, both for the Experience Israel and the Israel Greece tour in the fall. So
now, the Experience Israel, is that the one you have the pastors on, or is that different?
No, that is a different one. I was going there.
Okay.
If
sorry.
you're a pastor, we also have a special pastors tour every year.
Okay.
We're going to give pastors a special opportunity.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say this is and I always tell people, going to Israel is not going to Disneyland or
Right.
Disney World. It is a different experience. It's an experience that will transform your life.
Exactly.
And so for many pastors, we give this opportunity. I say it is an opportunity because it is at a much reduced price. This is a regular tour to Israel where with airfare and everything, it's about $2,000.
Yeah.
And that's
amazing.
Doesn't happen.
No, that doesn't happen.
But it is a tour for pastors with contents designed for pastors.
Yeah.
It is an opportunity for pastors to enrich themselves, to learn, and also to, to maybe refocus and, and think about, the ministry they are in. Because when you are there, if you're not touched, I don't know what you're made of. I mean, when you go to all these different places, when you're at the Banyas National Park, Caesarea Philippi, and you see the place where Jesus took the apostles and the disciples and said, "Who do you say that I am?"
Yeah.
When you go to places, when you go to Mount Golgotha, and then you see the empty tomb, and immediately after that you take the Lord's Supper. If you're not touched by that, again, I don't know what you are made of. And a place that, may I say this, particularly for, for the pastors' wives, because, this is an opportunity for pastors and their wives.
Yeah.
When we go to Shiloh, the place where the tabernacle stood.
I've been there.
Yeah, the place where Hannah, came desperate because she couldn't have children, and then she prayed that fantastic prayer.
Yes.
And then the Lord gave her Samuel, and then she came and gave Samuel for. That is a place where women are ministered in a very, very, very special way. I've seen it many, many times. So we make this opportunity available for pastors. Many pastors have been preaching about these places over and over and over throughout their careers.
Yeah.
But when you're there, it hits you.
It lights a fire inside.
It lights a fire in you because I've seen that face over and over and over. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I don't say this, in disrespect for believers of many years. But people who have been believers for years, they see that and they say, "Oh my God, this stuff." Forgive me for the usage of the word "stuff," but it's such an American word. This really happened.
Yeah.
And so pastors come back, and so when they are teaching about, in John 5, about, the pool of Bethesda, and they're teaching about the man who could not walk, and they've been there.
Yeah.
They've seen it with their own eyes, and they have placed themselves in that area. Their preaching totally changed.
Yeah. For pastors, if you're a pastor or you want to bless your pastor with this amazing trip, it would be wonderful for your pastor, because if the pastor brings his people along, he has to take care of them.
Of course.
And so he's not able to relax and enjoy it and sit back and ask questions. Because in front of their congregation, if they ask some questions, they're going to seem like
it's a time of when pastors bring their people, and we have that happen all the time.
Yeah.
We have that happening all the time. They have to give, and give.
Exactly.
There has to be a pastor's tour is an opportunity for pastors to receive.
Exactly.
And to be there and ponder and have that time to reflect and think, refocus, and go ahead. So that is a great opportunity. We always do it either in January or February of each year, and again, it may be. We try to keep it within $2,000.
Yeah.
It's a regular tour. It's a 10-day tour.
10 days, $2,000.
And no, you're not going to eat just matzah and water. You're going to enjoy the fantastic Israeli cuisine. We're going to take you to these wonderful hotels with these wonderful spreads.
They have the best spreads in those hotels.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the fruit and the vegetables.
The fruit and the vegetables
is the best I've ever had.
That is what
I'm from Minnesota, from farming community, and that's even better than Minnesota.
One of the best things that I enjoy for breakfast is of course, I try to do low carb. So when you see all those slices of grilled eggplant or zucchini or even the grilled onions, because that's what you have. See, there's something for everybody. If you're a high carb person, you're going to find all these wonderful pastries with all these wonderful jams and all that kind of thing. If you're a low carb type of person, well, you're gonna find all your eggs and and the butters and the creams and cheese infused, all cheese infused, cheese type of cheeses infused with basil and whatnot. And then, of course, you're going to have all your if you're a vegetarian.
The vegetables are
That's right. You're going to find all these wonderful mangoes, all the bananas, the oranges, all and this is my favorite. My favorite is the grilled vegetables, the zucchini and all that.
Yes.
If you're a pescatarian, well, of course, you're going to find fish. You're going to find pickled herring, and you're going to find salmon, and you're going to find whatnot.
Now, what's Peter's fish?
Peter's fish. Here you're for a big disappointment.
Oh, I've heard about Peter's fish, but I don't know what it is. St. Peter's fish.
The St. Peter's fish. There is one great staple of every tour is going to a restaurant where it's a fantastic view.
Falafels.
You have a fantastic view of the whole Sea of Galilee, which, by the way, in case many of our viewers don't know, it's a lake, okay? In Israel, it's not called as the sea.
It's Knesset.
It's Kinneret.
Okay.
It's Lake Kinneret. The sea is the Mediterranean. So there is a wonderful restaurant where you can get the famous St. Peter's fish.
Yeah.
I got news for you. The famous St. Peter's fish is tilapia. So
homegrown tilapia?
To be honest, that I don't know
you
that.
Don't know.
I don't know that much. I don't know if it is.
As I like tilapia.
Wild caught or farmed. But the fact is, you can get it either in. You can get the whole fish, which is a lot of fun, deep fried, or you can get the fillets of the fish.
Okay.
And if you don't like fish, of course, you still have a wonderful buffet. Salad buffet again. If you're a vegetarian, there's always a choice. And of course, you can get kebabs and that kind of thing. But of course, most people go for the experience of the fish, particularly the St. Peter's fish or the whole fish, which is deep fried.
Wow.
So and pastors, of course, get to enjoy that. So pastor, this is not going to be a a watered down tour. You get all the wonderful things of a tour. You get the same wonderful hotels. You get all the wonderful sites, but for a reduced price, because we want this to be a wonderful opportunity for pastors to enjoy themselves, to refocus, and hopefully to be able to bring their people back. Because we have a great benefit.
Yes.
Not only it costs $2,000 to go to the tour, but if the pastor comes within 2 years with a group of 25 paying passengers or more, we will give you that money back.
Wow, that's a deal.
Yes.
That is a deal.
Because we recognize, we want pastors, as you were saying so correctly, we want pastors to go through the experience of having the Lord's Supper at what is called the Garden Tomb. This is really this is one of the pinnacles of your experience as a disciple of Messiah. The very last thing you do in a tour, if your tour is well planned, is the very last day, the last thing you do, you go to see Mount Golgotha. Then you walk a little bit and you see the empty tomb. And right after that, you have the Lord's Supper. And that is the close. That's how you close the tour.
Yeah.
And so, what a wonderful opportunity.
Now, for pastors, is this? It's a limited number, so that they're not in this huge crowd, right?
Well, we have pastors come, and we try to keep it very personal.
Yes.
So they are not. This is not a group with 100 people or with 50 people.
That's what I wanted them to know.
50 people, but again, we want it. And besides, what a wonderful opportunity to share experiences
with other pastors
from different areas and different things, and because once they learn from that, imagine that you have been through the experience, you bring your people, And this is an opportunity to influence them, to minister them,
Yeah.
to give them an opportunity to minister them with an experience that they will remember for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
So that is the second thing. But fine. But the other thing we do is we help churches put together their trips to Israel.
Oh, okay.
And the wonderful thing we have is usually when you put together a trip to Israel, a church here in the United States calls an agency here, and that agency here, the only thing they do is just to take the information and give it to an agency in Israel. This with
So you
us,
stop the middleman.
correctly, we stop the
There you
middleman.
go. There you
And
go.
you're dealing with people who are ministers.
Yeah.
And so we want to give a very personal experience. This is not what is called we don't want to put you in a little prepackaged thing and this is what we do and this is what you're going to do. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What do you want your people to experience?
That's right.
You know, we have people who have special requests and they want to see this museum or this other museum, or they want to spend more time doing this.
Do you go down to Masada?
Oh, we do.
That was, I don't know why that was my favorite place, but I think it was so amazing, the story about Masada in 70 AD.
Well, the story is
Just
amazing.
absolutely blew me
And,
away.
and of course, the surroundings are
Oh, you
epic.
stand up there and you can just see for
The surroundings
miles.
are epic. I mean, you
Yeah.
look around and it is absolutely incredible. So, yes, we do. But on the other hand, you got to go all the way south to do that.
Yeah, Israel is so amazing. You'll see one place that's lush, like the area of
Right,
Dan, you know, with the
right.
beautiful flowing rivers.
Yes.
And then you go to some place that's got a mount, like Mount Hermon, and then you go to another
Where you
place
have
that looks like a
snow.
desert.
Yes.
Yeah, and they had snow, and then you go to the desert, and then you go down to the Dead Sea. I mean, that place is like the size of New Jersey. And that has got it's got every single kind of terrain in it.
Yeah, you have these epic moments. One of my favorite ones is the first time I went to Qumran. In case you don't know, Qumran is a cave system where the Essenes kept the script, where they kept the scriptures hidden from the Romans.
Yeah.
And on this side you have this amazing site, which for those of us who are a certain age, if you remember the opening scenes of Star Wars and Tatooine, it looks just like that, with all these caves and this very dry ground, and you have all these roads going into this a myriad of caves, and on your back you have the Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea.
And it's just that. And you know, particularly when the sun is coming down,
Yeah.
it's just such an epic moment that it's just engraved in your head, because there you are, and you have the breeze, and you have this full moon sometimes, and it's just epic. It's just one of those epic moments. And as you said, you have the ski resorts in Mount Hermon.
I know, it's amazing.
You have the lush foliage and the rivers in
And
the
the
north.
Coastals.
Yes.
I
And then,
mean,
of course, you have the beaches in Tel
Mediterranean.
Aviv.
The beaches,
The
beautiful
beaches in Tel Aviv.
yeah.
That sometimes, whenever we arrive, one of the first things we do is we take people to an amphitheater next to what is called the Church of Simon the Tanner. And from there, you sit in a semicircle at a very elevated area, and you get a panoramic view of the whole city of Tel Aviv.
Wow.
And you see the miracle, because it is a miracle.
I was when I was in Tel Aviv, we went to the 24-hour prayer room that was in one of the high towers that's overlooking Tel Aviv, and we prayed for Tel Aviv.
Yes.
'Cause Tel Aviv could use some prayer.
Tel Aviv could use a lot of prayer.
They
A
could
lot
use
of
some
prayer.
prayer.
It's a city with a lot of sin.
It's got the millennials that.
Well,
really,
it's just a very secular city.
Exactly.
Very,
It's
very secular
You have
city.
Jerusalem.
Yes.
That's like the holy city. Then you have Tel Aviv. That's very secular.
And it's a party town.
It's a party town.
Along with Eilat. And yeah, it can
Yeah.
use a lot of prayer. And personally, sometimes in a trip, I tend to avoid it, church, because with that comes,
Yeah.
of course, the traffic
Yeah.
and all the people. But also, it is the place where we get, if you are in traffic and you use Waze, it came from Tel Aviv. It's
Yeah.
an Israeli invention.
Yeah, it is. And pray for Tel Aviv because, they have the airport there. It's not like you
Yes.
have like Houston, you got two different airports, and then you got Ellington Field and everything. Lots of different places. You got Tel Aviv.
Yes, and it's sad because last week the Iranian leader said we can wipe out Israel in 30 minutes. That was their threat. And of course, he doesn't talk about Jerusalem because he knows that if an Iranian rocket falls on the Dome of the Rock and destroys the Dome of the Rock, only God knows what will happen.
Yeah.
But they all talk very openly about destroying Tel Aviv, destroying Haifa, which are very well. Tel Aviv is considered the first modern Jewish city, but the first thing they talk about is destroying Tel Aviv and destroying Haifa.
Yeah.
So
Well, one of the things in Tel Aviv that happened is that's where the announcement of the Jewish state was made.
that's right, correct.
Yes.
And I've been.
Do you take your people
I
on
was
tours
there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The Museum of Independence.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, there's a couple things I want to ask you that I just feel like people want to know. Is it safe? Because when they look at TV, they just the TV will always show you the worst of everything. I tell you, I felt the safest in Israel. I went downtown Ben Yehuda at 9 o'clock at night.
Yes.
And I felt safe.
Yes, we always make a joke. I have some wonderful friends in Montana, and they always say, and they go to Israel every 2 years, a church that I really appreciate, really love them, and they say more people die on the highways of Montana. Now, highways of Montana, we're talking about some lonely roads there. More people die, more people get hurt in the highways of Montana than in Israel in a whole year.
That's right.
And it is true. I mean, we have churches every single week.
Yeah.
And everybody goes.
Yeah.
And everybody comes back safe and sound.
When I went in 2013, it was the time that they were handing out gas masks because of Syria gassing. And that's when I went in 2013. And so many tour groups canceled. And it was during the tabernacle season.
Yeah.
So many tour groups, and they were so thankful to us that we didn't
Yes.
we didn't even consider canceling because we just knew that God told us to go and we're going to go.
God will take care of you.
God takes care of his children. That's it.
Yeah, and again, we've seen it over and over and over and over. Groups coming just about every week, and not a single issue. We are more concerned about you getting travel or health insurance than with that. Health insurance, yes, because things happen. People get kidney stones when they're in Israel.
Yeah.
Or people fall because they have weak knees. And, health insurance, yes. Do get health insurance if you come to Israel. Not because you're going to be in danger, but because things do happen.
You can fall anywhere. You can fall in your bathroom.
Yes.
And we have 1 minute left, and I want to ask you about Greece, about the tour to Greece.
Yes, it's
because that's included in an extended tour.
Right. It is a great opportunity because, again, the book of Acts is a wonderful book, but sometimes it is hard to picture it in your mind.
Yes.
Picture in your mind the way Paul went about doing his missionary trips. And this is a great opportunity to see how Paul went, how he went, where he went, and how he conducted his preaching. So it is a wonderful opportunity as well. The Greece part comes at the end of the trip. So you come back from Greece, but it's just a wonderful, really wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
Awesome. You know, this would be a trip of a lifetime. If you want to go, contact Hope for Israel. The number 4 is a digit. It's hopeforisrael.org. And they can get you set up with a tour. They can answer any questions, but make sure you give your pastor an opportunity to come. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him. So God bless you. Thank you for being with us today, and we say shalom.
Shalom.
This is Ken and Mary Bostrom. We thank you for joining us today. We welcome you to watch us on kbntv.tv, YouTube, Facebook, mbostrom2.com. Also listen to us on WRNO Shortwave Radio. Contact us at kenbostromministries.org. God bless you today.